Welcome to this explainer. We're jumping right into a truly fascinating sensory mystery today. We are going to completely unpack the hidden mechanics behind why small, seemingly ordinary sounds, and specifically clicks, can create such a profound, almost full-body sense of satisfaction. It's a really incredible journey into the world of acoustics, neuroscience, and the very specific ways our brains process the world around us. So let's get into it. Right off the bat, I want to hook you with our central mystery. What exactly makes a click satisfying? Because listen, if you've ever sat at a desk mindlessly clicking a pen 100 times in a row, you know for a fact that not all clicks are created equal. The question isn't just whether a sound is a click. It's about what kind of click it is, the texture of it, and exactly when it hits your ears. Think about the absolute ideal scenario for a second. You have that perfect, crisp, and calm click. It's an expected ASMR sound that literally makes your brain lean in and go, "Oh, that's nice." Now contrast that with a cheap, loud, irritating click. You know the one. It's jarring, it's abrasive, and it makes your entire nervous system tense up and want to retreat. And what separates these two experiences? Well, it is somatic, it's pure biology. Section 1. The brain's prediction engine. Let's look at the incredible neuroscience behind how our minds actually anticipate sound. Okay, this brings us to a massive aha moment in sensory science. It's a concept called predictive processing, stemming from Carl Friston's foundational work back in 2010. Friston basically describes the brain as this giant, non-stop prediction engine. It is constantly, and I mean always, comparing what it expects to hear with the actual sensory evidence coming in through your ears. So when you hear a satisfying ASMR click, it works so well because it gives your brain a tiny prediction and then confirms it flawlessly. It just feels so good because a miniature sensory puzzle has been perfectly solved by your brain. And this is a brilliant illustration of exactly why that happens. It's all about cause and effect. When the eye sees a cause, say a hand approaching a mic, an object shifting, or a switch flipping, the ear starts expecting the effect. Anticipation naturally builds. Your brain is preparing for the sound, and when that precise click arrives, the visual image and the audio match up perfectly. A random click coming from nowhere, that's just distracting. But when there's a visible trigger attached to, say, a cap or a little toy, your attention can finally just relax because the incoming sensory input perfectly aligns with what you expected to happen. Section 2. The science of calm. Let's explore how all of this builds into measurable physical and emotional responses. You might be wondering, is there actual science behind this? Yes, absolutely. There is real clinical research explaining why gentle sensory media calms us down. For instance, Barratt and Davis in 2015 noted that people actively use ASMR for relaxation, better sleep, and general mood support. Researchers like Poerio and colleagues actually measured this in 2018, finding that responders showed a noticeably reduced heart rate. We're talking actual physical calming. Fredborg's 2017 research linked this to specific individual differences in our sensory sensitivity. And going all the way back to 2005, Menon and Levitin showed how pleasant auditory experiences engage the brain's deep reward networks. Now, obviously, ASMR isn't a medical cure, we know that, but the science backing up why it physically calms us is very, very real. So, if you take one thing away from this, let it be this crucial point. When image and sound match, attention relaxes. That predictability creates a profound feeling of safety for your nervous system. And that deep, foundational feeling of safety is the absolute bedrock of any good ASMR trigger. Moving on to Section 3, the texture of sound. We're shifting from the brain's expectations to the actual physical acoustic properties of the sound itself. Believe it or not, a really great click has a distinct physical shape to it. Think of it like a sharp little mountain peak. It begins clearly, it peaks really quickly, and it ends completely cleanly. You are not left with a harsh, messy, ringing tail of noise afterward. And this perfectly contained acoustic shape is exactly why small plastic objects, little containers, and toy sounds work so incredibly well. They generate these small, intensely satisfying sounds with crisp, definitive edges, which perfectly leads us to the delicate balance of scale versus softness. A satisfying click is intimate, it's precise, and it's kept super close to the microphone. Compare that to, say, a huge bang echoing from far away down a hallway. That large, distant sound feels inherently threatening to us. Softness is your safety layer here. If a click is too sharp or too loud, it triggers an involuntary startle response. But the absolute perfect ASMR click sits right in that sweet spot. It's clear enough for you to notice, but gentle enough for your brain to deeply trust. Section 4. Contrast, space, and pacing. This is all about why what happens between the clicks matters just as much as the click itself. Have you ever wondered why ASMR desperately needs negative space? It's because a soft rub, a deliberate pause, and then a crisp click is so much more effective than just constant, chaotic, rapid-fire clicking. The brain literally needs space so the listener can predict the upcoming sound. Space allows the sound to actually land in your consciousness. It gives your body a critical little moment to decide, hey, does this trigger actually feel good? Basically, space is what makes the click feel deeply meaningful and intentional, rather than just overwhelming static noise. And because of that, pacing can completely make or break a click, all depending on what you're actually trying to get out of it. Fast clicks, they might be super exciting and tingly, but they aren't always calming. Medium clicks are great because they give the brain just enough time to prepare, making them fantastic background noise for studying or focus. But if you're trying to use this specifically for sleep, very slow clicks are absolutely the way to go. They are highly predictable and give your nervous system all the time it needs to truly wind down. Section 5. The sequence of satisfaction. Let's put all this physical and neurological data together. I absolutely love this concept because it reads like a miniature suspense story. Just look at the anatomy of this perfect moment. Step 1, the hand approaches. Step 2, the object responds. 3, the physical pressure changes. 4, the climax. The click actually happens. 5, the sound cleanly fades away. And finally, step 6, the viewer gets a second to rest. This step-by-step sequence is exactly why simple trigger videos make instant sense to our brains. They are perfectly legible, highly satisfying little stories of cause and effect. Section 6. Finding your perfect click. Let's talk about applying all this cool science directly to your own routine. So how do we actually use this? Here are some great guidelines for safe usage and personal observation. First up, notice the moment right before the sound. Do you actually enjoy the wait? Next, analyze the texture of the sounds you like. Are you drawn more to plastic, warm wood, or crisp metallic sounds? Always check in with your body. Does your jaw naturally loosen up, or are you actually tensing your shoulders in anticipation? Just a quick reminder. Always keep your volume low. Definitely take off the headphones if the clicks ever feel sharp or piercing. And honestly, just stop if a sound causes any irritation. ASMR is highly, highly personal. It's meant to be a supportive routine, not a replacement for professional medical care. Which brings us to our core takeaway for this explainer. A click is tiny, but when the timing is exactly right, tiny can be enough. Sometimes our nervous system doesn't need some massive, dramatic intervention to calm down. Sometimes all it takes to feel fundamentally safe and grounded is just a small, complete, highly predictable event executed perfectly. To wrap things up, I want to leave you with this final provocative question directly inspired by the source material over at Slice Therapy ASMR. What click sound works best for you? Think about it. Is it plastic, wood, metal, or maybe it's those nostalgic little toy sounds? I really encourage you to actively test your own sensory preferences and figure out exactly what it is that makes your brain lean in and relax. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and hey, keep exploring those fascinating sounds.